I've had someone pull out a knife and a huge long machete in my face. Like, when I say the thing's long, fam, the thing's like that big, fam. Do I need to now protect myself in case another guy comes and does that to me? I'm not gonna walk on the road and start trying to stab people. I'm fearing for my life. And then if the police stop me now and throw me away, I'm like, yo, what about that man that tried to stab me up, bro?
Should you go to prison for carrying a knife?
Great, and then we can do that one more. I'm tired of seeing mostly black boys on the cover of the Evening Standard every day dying from knife crime. The law is there as a deterrent, yeah? So you know if you do this, this will happen. If carrying a knife in and of itself will cause you to go to jail, I can't think of a better deterrent than that.
I'm not saying here that the law shouldn't exist and people who carry weapons shouldn't be locked up or shouldn't be arrested. Laws are here to protect people, but actually, the laws aren't preventing people carrying knives. Me going to a 10-year-old and 11-year-old who's carrying a knife in their pocket, 13 years old, and saying, right, you've got a knife and you're being locked up, boom, done, that's your life, is a problem to me. I feel like something bigger needs to be done. Just locking up everyone, it's not gonna change.
Some people carry knives, they've been arrested, been in jail, yeah, and they come out and they carry knives in a smart way.
A smart way. What, if you're carrying a knife, what are you intended to cause harm? What else? What? You're not going to cut a cake, are you?
In the back of your mind, if you get scared, you're going to use it.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
So you're just going to keep it in your pocket and get rushed?
I don't think people think that far.
I grew up in Streatham. I used to be around Brixton. I went to school in Tulse. Sometimes there's no other options. You have to do what you need to do to make money. Then sometimes men feel that, you know what, I need to double up. I need to find a way to make an income and make money. Yeah. And then sometimes it involves violence. And when it involves violence, you feel like you have to protect yourself because you can't go to the police.
Like if it's like a kid and he happens to have a knife on, I don't want him to suddenly be in jail for the rest of his life because he was carrying this knife because he was scared or he felt like he had to defend himself. So in that scenario, that's why I said you need to evaluate every situation. But there are some guys who are out there and they were on their way to take someone's life.
But then, has putting people in prison reduced crime? It hasn't. So we need to think of something else.
But then it's taken someone who is really dangerous.
Right, but then it's also left about 10 other people still there.
The system is flawed. However, there are some people who they've gone to prison and that one person who's gone to prison has maybe saved 10 lives. And if that's what's happening, I'm down for that.
Do you think that we're more aware of it now because it's in the media?
Definitely. I was saying this the other day. People have been using knives for decades.
But because of the media and it's out there in your face, you're more known to it.
I've never known of a 12-year-old child to be getting stabbed. Like, I just think, what has the world come to? Like, how did that even happen? 12 years old. I wouldn't even go out at 12. Like, how did that even happen? That's not my nephew's age. Sick.
If you was to carry a knife, it shows intent.
Yeah.
And you want to prevent the problem before it happens, so that's why the person should be locked up. And that's why the measures should be taken in that way. What do you guys think?
It all comes down to education from early. And that's not always the way forward. And fighting fire with fire is never going to be the way forward. So it's a snowball effect, because if someone gets a knife, then someone gets stabbed, then they retaliate and so on, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So.
But I feel like the problem is like our parents, they live in denial that our children can never hold a knife. Because the problem is so big now. It should be made a sort of thing where the parents actually raise that awareness from home, whether their child is just a quiet
or
child.
not, yeah, just implement it.
Yeah, and parents should stop living in denial, thinking their children are perfect.
I remember being in school, and then the elders would rush us, innit, just playing around, and sometimes it got a bit too far. And people go to school feeling scared, and these are 10, 11-year-old kids, yeah, that's not even really had a life yet, and they would feel scared and need to protect themselves. They'll carry like a little pen knife to school. And imagine now then trying to lock them up or giving them a criminal record, and now they're disadvantaged because they've had a little fight at school, but because they feel so scared and not protected, that's why they're doing that, man. I think you need to look at the exact reasons why, man.
What the discussion really needs to be is, why are people out here carrying knives in the first place? Or why are people in an environment where they feel so unsafe that they need to put a weapon in their pocket? What we're overlooking is there is a middle ground between being able to just run around after carrying a knife and being locked up. And that's the rehabilitation side, and that's the mentoring side. I just think like flat, you're carrying a knife, I'm locking you up for X amount of time. It's not doing anything. Actually, in order to deal with the problem, there needs to be something rehabilitative in that.
The best thing is if you find yourself in a situation where you're a victim or you're being bullied by a crowd of people, the best thing to do would be to seek advice from or seek counsel from from the older ones. Carrying a knife or, you know, or trying to hurt someone who's trying to hurt you is just a cycle of vengeance and hatred you're just building up.
I think that's a really good point.